Hi, this is Janet from Try It, Like It, Create It, and today we're going to be making a floral pin using my Cricut Cuttlebug to cut out some dies, and we're working with Rinea foil, and I cut these pieces smaller from the pack, and these come from the Peacock pack, and I will put links below to the actual colors that we're going to be using in this video for the pin. And so to start with, I'm using a piece of lightweight cardstock just to give our pin some weight, and I actually want the white to be on the back. And so to show you, this is just from a candy box. So I'm going to put that down on my die and put my die on top, and then my B plate, and I'm going to run that through my Cuttlebug. And that will give us the backing piece for our pin. And we'll be gluing to this. You can see it. And then I will just use, let's see, I have an X-Acto knife here. And let's see if I can use my X-Acto knife just to lift that cardstock up. There we go. Because it set itself into the die. Okay, so there's our piece that we're going to use for the back of the pin. Then the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to cut all the pieces I need at once. Let me clear up my X-Acto knife here so we don't cut ourselves. Okay, so I'm going to lay out the 4 pieces of foil. Oh, I got a couple extras. So I've laid out the 4 pieces of foil. Oh, I got duplicates of everything, it looks like. Okay, we're good now. And then I'm going to decide what piece goes with what shape. So I think the bottom will be the blue. I'm just going to alternate. So we'll do something like that. And since it doesn't matter where we're cutting it out from the foil, and that it doesn't have to be precise, I don't have to glue it or stick it down. I was going to use some purple tape. So we're going to give this a go, and if it shifts on us or it doesn't work, I'll use the purple tape to hold it in place. Okay, so I'm going to crank through the Cuttlebug, and then I'm just going to move that out of our workspace. You can hear my chair creaking a little bit in the background. Alright, so the pieces we have here, that one came out easy, and so did that one. So these little guys are going to need some help. And once again, I'm just going to use my X-Acto knife to release them. And the Rinea foil paper with the star pattern that I'm working with here with the blue actually is blue on both sides. The pieces that are not with the star pattern have gold on the back. So you could opt to switch that up if you wanted to. Alright, so there are my pieces. I'm just going to move my die out of the way. And then we're going to work on gluing this all together. So I am going to use the best glue ever from Scrap Perfect. And I have a no clog writing tip on my glue. And the first thing I'm going to do is attach the blue to the cardstock. And I'm just looking to see what it does. it definitely does have a right and a wrong way to line it up. So I want to make sure I get that correct. All right, so I think that's looking about right. So I will just cover this surface here with a little bit of glue. You don't need a lot. This is a tacky glue and it dries rather quickly, so I can move on with my project. So I'm going to line this up and take a little bit of time getting this into place, because this really is the only one that has to be sandwiched correctly. All right, and then there's a little bit of cardstock in the way here, and I will cut that out with my X-Acto knife. I'm going to go off camera for just a second over to my cutting mat so I can use my X-Acto knife. Okay, so there you can see I've removed that little piece. So we have the starting of our pin here. So the next piece that we're going to do is place the next largest piece on here and deciding whether or not we want to curl it a little bit beforehand. And I think I will roll it around maybe a pen, because I want those petals to stand up just a little bit, but not too much. We'll make the other ones stand up a little bit more. So since these are folding a little bit, I am just going to glue the center part of this flower. And I'm going to rotate it so those petals fill in the negative space of that one. And then this is our next piece. So I'm going to turn those up, and once again just work with the center. Because I am gluing down just the center pieces, let me bring you down a little closer to this as I work. Alright, since I'm gluing down the little center area, I can easily go back in and bend those pieces after the glue has permanently dried. I'm going to take my tweezers, and these are huge tweezers, but I use them for jewelry making and for working in fire, so that's why they're here. But I'm going to use them to place that little center piece. And to bend that up just a little bit. You can see it's moving around a little bit because the glue isn't completely tacked down yet. So I think I'm just going to let that dry, and then we'll come back and we will attach the pin shape to the back, and it will be done and ready to wear. So one thing I wanted to mention that I didn't in the beginning was that you want to make sure that whatever shape you're cutting out actually covers up the pin back, and it does in this case. So you don't have to worry about that. But this is approximately what it will look like. And I'll be back once it's dry to show you a little bit more adjustment to the petals, putting the back on, and then actually finishing off the piece. Okay, so I've let the pin dry overnight, and just to show you that I thought it needed a little pizzazz in the center, so off camera I added some stickles into the center and let that dry along with the rest of the glue. And then just to bend things a little bit, I went in with the end of a paintbrush and just kind of lifted up and rolled around some of the petals and adjusted things a little bit here and there. And then I also decided to not leave the blue petals solid. They came with a cut in them, and I just went ahead and opened that up just a little bit. And now we're ready to put the pin onto the backing. And we just need to decide what we want to be at the top. And then we'll just attach that with a little bit of glue. So I'm using this Dazzle Tack jewelry glue. I got a sample of it at Creativation and it seems to work pretty well. So I'm just going to touch the back of the pin here with the glue. Try to stay on camera while I'm focusing on this. And then we'll just attach this to the back. Like so. And then I'm going to let that dry again overnight, and then probably come back again one more time and adjust the metal paper, the foil paper, and then we'll be finished. So I'm going to set that aside to dry for a day, and I'll be back to show you the final.